Welcome to the deep dive. So today we're looking at something maybe a little unexpected.
Yeah, this idea that negative thoughts might actually have some kind of hidden power.
Exactly. We've been digging into this text. It's called Texto Colado, and there's this one section, the hidden power of negative thoughts.
Right.
And our mission really is to pull out what the source is saying about potential upsides, upsides to negative thinking for you.
Yeah, it's interesting right off the bat. The source doesn't just, dismiss them. It suggests they might actually have real value.
Okay, let's get into that then, this hidden power. What does Texto Colado actually say these thoughts do? What are the functions or advantages?
Well, one core idea the text puts forward is that negative thoughts can act as a kind of crucial signal.
A signal?
Yeah, they alert us. Potential threats, challenges coming up, makes us more aware, maybe, of our environment, what might happen.
Huh. Okay, so if I'm getting this right, it's less about just, wallowing in the bad stuff.
Right.
And more like our brain flagging potential hazards. And the source thinks that's useful.
Exactly. That's the idea. The text talks about how this sort of anticipating negativity can actually drive us to act, to do something.
So?
By thinking about what could go wrong, we're apparently more likely to, problem solve or prepare better.
Okay.
It gives this example, imagine someone keeps thinking about how a project might fail.
Yeah, that sounds familiar, unfortunately.
Right. But according to the source, that worry itself could push them to plan really meticulously, identify roadblocks way earlier, and that could, paradoxically, make the project more likely to succeed.
Okay, I see. So the worry triggers the prevention. That makes sense. Does the text mention, other ways this hidden power shows up?
Yeah, it does. It also brings up how negative thoughts can help foster a more realistic perspective.
Realistic, as opposed to...
Overly optimistic, maybe, or making impulsive decisions. It suggests considering the downsides grounds our expectations, gives us a more balanced view.
Gotcha.
The text mentions someone thinking through the negative side of a risky investment.
Right.
That might lead them to do more research, be more careful, and end up making a safer, more informed choice.
Interesting. So it really sounds like Texto Colado isn't saying be negative.
Definitely not.
But more like don't just automatically shut down those thoughts. But are there conditions or nuances? When is it helpful versus just harmful?
Oh, absolutely. The source is pretty clear on that. The key difference is how we engage with them.
Okay.
The benefit comes when we see them as potential signals, use them to inform what we do next. It's not helpful if we just fixate on them, let them paralyze us with anxiety.
Right, so it's about using the info, then moving on constructively.
Precisely. Processing it, not dwelling in it.
This really does flip the script on the usual advice, doesn't it? Just think positive, block it all out.
Totally.
What does Texto Colado say that's particularly, surprising against that common wisdom?
Well, maybe one of the most counterintuitive points is that trying to completely suppress negative thoughts might actually backfire.
How so?
By ignoring potential problems, the source suggests we might miss really crucial warning signs. We might fail to take steps we actually needed to take. So it argues that a certain amount of negative thinking, if you channel it right, can actually lead to more resilient outcomes in the end.
Okay, so let's try and wrap this up. Our deep dive into Texto Colado, it seems to suggest negative thoughts can have this hidden power.
Yeah.
Acting as early warnings, driving problem solving, maybe fostering realism. But the absolute key isn't getting rid of them, but engaging thoughtfully, using them as data almost.
Exactly. It's really about reframing how we relate to them, not just seeing them as bad, but as potentially useful guides, even if they're uncomfortable guides.
Yeah, uncomfortable guides, I like that. This whole exploration from Texto Colado is a pretty fascinating counterpoint to the usual focus on just positivity.
It really is.
And, well, that brings us to a final thought for you listening. Thinking about what we've discussed from this source, could any of your own negative thoughts actually be offering you some value? Maybe pushing you toward action, just in disguise, perhaps worth a closer look.
Definitely food for thought.
Thanks for diving deep with us today.